This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Cams. We're located at 11159 La Maida Street, North Hollywood, California, 91601. Today is February 21st, 2022. We're performing a video sewer inspection through a 4-inch ABS mainline sewer cleanout located just to the right of the front door, up against next to the wall in the plant area. And this is our 4-inch ABS mainline sewer clean out here. This goes towards our front gate, and this goes towards our front door area here. And again, this goes towards the rear of our property here. And we're going to go ahead and zero out here at the top of the clean out. And we're just going to go ahead and drop down and begin our video sewer inspection. It does appear to be black ABS sewer pipe. As we push out, it does appear that we're going to transition to vitreous clay sewer piping. And as you can see here, we do have a little bit of an offset in this transition here. You can see there from about the 12 o'clock going around to about the 7 o'clock area. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And as we push out, again, we have another large offset here from about the 9 o'clock going around to about the 3 o'clock area. So again, what we'll do is we'll just push out, and on the way back we can mark that area. So that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And again, that joint there appears to be in fair condition. Continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. A little bit of neoprene band there exposed in the joint right around the 2 o'clock area. But again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And push in a little bit more. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. Continue to push out. A little bit of an offset there in that joint there from about the 9 o'clock going around to about the 2 o'clock area. And we're just going to push in slowly. And we're going to continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And again, as we continue to push out, a little bit of an offset in this joint here from about the 4 o'clock going all the way around to about the 7 o'clock area. And as we push out, it does appear possibly a little bit of a crack, but we're going to push in slowly. Just take a good look. Could possibly be just a scratch on the side of the pipe there. I'm going to pause our mic here. We do have a gardener. Okay, again, the gardener went ahead and is going to go around the other side. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. We'll just push out slowly. And we'll pull back just a little bit. Again, a little bit more. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. We continue to push out. Again, we're coming up on this joint here. It does appear we got a little bit of root intrusion in this area here. I'm going to pull back just a little bit. And possibly a little bit of a section of the white or the vitreous clay sewer pipe in that corner there, right around the 2 o'clock area. And push in just a little bit. And again, we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. Again, a little bit of root intrusion in that joint. And again, a little more root intrusion in this joint, a little bit of a gap from about the 12 o'clock going all the way around to about the 6 o'clock area. And again, we're just going to continue to push out. And again, a little more root intrusion in this joint as well. And we'll continue to push out. And as we push out, it does appear that we do have our test tee here right around the 12 o'clock area. And that should be close to the curb or in the parkway. So again, we're just going to continue to push out. Push out slowly. We make a little bit of a turn, and as you can see, it does appear that we're transitioning to what appears to be our 4 to 6 transition. We're transitioning from 4-inch vitreous clay to what appears to be 6-inch concrete sewer piping. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of root intrusion in that transition. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. Again, appear a little bit of concrete overpour in that joint. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and continue to push out. And we'll just try to attempt to push all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And then from there, we can pull back and take a good look. Again, we're just going to continue to push out. That joint there appears to be in fair condition. Very difficult to tell. We continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And again, it does appear that the line had possibly been hydrojetted As you can see at the top, around from the 9 o'clock going around to about the 3 o'clock area, you can see some swirl marks in there. So it's a good indication that the line had possibly been hydrojetted and cleared. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. Again, that joint appears to be in fair condition. Again, very difficult to tell. We're gonna pull back a little bit. It's very difficult to tell with the concrete sewer piping. It's very small, granular, and it's just trying to determine these joints. So again, we're just pushing just a little bit more, a little bit more. Does appear possibly a little bit of a gap there right around the 3 o'clock area. And again, we're going to just go ahead and continue to push out. And what we'll do is we'll, again, push all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And again, that joint, again, very difficult to tell with these joints. That joint appears to be fair condition as well. I'm going to continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. These joints are a little bit closer. It does appear that these joints are approximately maybe 3 to 4 feet apart. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. I'm going to continue to push out. We'll make a little bit of a turn. And we drop down into our city sewer tie-in here. And that's our city sewer tie-in. You can see the water rushing through. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull back just a little bit more. And again, we're right at the top of at the edge of our saddle. And we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and it's just in the middle of the street. We did place an orange dot at approximately 14 feet deep. And again, this is our city sewer tie-in. So again, we're going to go ahead and pull back slowly. And we're just going to take a good look at the concrete sewer piping. We're going to pull back slowly, check our saddle really well. Continue to pull back. Again, we'll make a little bit of turn. A little bit of a gap there, the saddle. Continue to pull back. Do have a little bit of an offset in the saddle there from about the 9 o'clock going all the way around to about the 6 o'clock. And it does appear a little piece of concrete sewer piping is coming loose in that joint there, right around the 3 o'clock area. So again, we did mark that with an orange dot of paint at approximately 14 feet deep. Continue to pull back. And again, we're just going to continue to pull back. A little bit of root intrusion in that joint there, but nothing major. It did appear that there was possibly some root intrusions in some of these joints. And again, like I mentioned, they possibly had the line hydrojetted and had all these root intrusions cleared. So again, these joints all appear to be in fair condition. And again, on this joint here, as we push back in just a little bit, got a little bit of a gap in the joint here, right around the 9 o'clock area. A little bit of a gap in that joint there, and it does appear possibly a little bit of root intrusion coming in there from about the 6 o'clock area. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. And again, these root intrusions are very faint, very small root intrusions. Push in a little bit. And again, very difficult to tell the joint here. Appears a little bit of a gap there in that joint there, possibly a piece missing in the joint right around the 3 o'clock area. And again, we continue to pull back. And again, right here, right around the 3 o'clock area as well. Another area here with a little bit of concrete sewer piping missing in the joint. right around the 3 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to pull back. A little bit offset in that joint as well, from about the 12 going down to about the 3 o'clock. Coming to the next joint, and that joint appeared to be in fair condition. Push back in a little bit. One more. And that joint appeared to be in fair condition. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. You know, a little bit of a gap in that joint there from about the 3 o'clock area. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. And again, in this area here, we do have a little bit of concrete slag overpour in that joint there, and you can see we do have an offset in that joint there from about the 11 o'clock area going all the way down to about the 5 o'clock area. A little bit of concrete overpour in that joint. And again, a little more concrete overpour in that joint as well. And you can see as well a little bit of root intrusion coming in from about the 3 o'clock area. What we're going to do is we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to mark this area. I'm going to pause here. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and it is at 10 foot 3 inches deep. And this is outside on the sidewalk. If you're standing at the front gate, it's going to be on your far right-hand side of the house, or the far right-hand side of the front wall, at the end of the wall, starting at the neighbor's property. And we did mark it on the sidewalk at 10 foot 3 inches deep with the red crayon. So again, we're just going to pull back a little bit. Again, you can see quite a bit of buildup, a little bit of buildup in this area. Some slag overpour in those joints. And we'll just continue to pull back. And as we pull back, it does appear that we're transitioning into vitreous clay, back into vitreous clay sewer piping. And you can see we did have some root intrusions in this transition. Right around the 9 o'clock area, you can see that there is some roots. I'm going to pull back just a little bit. You can see a little bit of root intrusion coming in there right around the 9 o'clock area. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And this area here is right at the edge of our wall. So we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to locate this test tee. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and it's just underneath the wall at the front of the house. And this is on your far right-hand corner at the front of the house. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. That joint appeared to be in fair condition. A little bit of a gap there in that joint there, probably from the 3 o'clock down to about the 6 o'clock area. But again, we're just continuing to pull back. And again, this joint here, we got a little bit of root intrusion. Let's pull back. You can see we do got some root intrusion in this joint here. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. Push back in a little bit. And turn at the top. So as we pull back, double checking this area here, it does appear possibly a crack there right around the 3 o'clock going up to about the 12 o'clock. But again, that could possibly be a root that is laid down there that's looking like a crack. So what we'll do is once we get back to the office, we can blow that area up and we can take a really good look. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. And again, that joint got a little bit of root intrusion in that joint as well, a little bit of an offset. So again, continue to pull back. And we're gonna push back in just a little bit. It does appear that we do have what appears to be a break at the top of the vitreous clay sewer line. As you can see there, right around the 12 o'clock area. I'm going to push in just a little bit, and you can see in this area here, again, it does appear to be possibly a break in the vitreous clay sewer line here, and that does appear to be possibly a root ball. But again, we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to locate this area, and then what we'll do is when we get again back to the office, we can take a good look at that. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and, again, as I mentioned, we went ahead and located this area here. And you can see right there around the 12 o'clock area, we do have a large break in that area, and we did mark it at 10 foot 6 inches deep. And this, again, I was on the inside of the property, just as you come in the front gates on the far right-hand corner against the wall. So again, as we pull back, you can see we got more root intrusion in this joint, and a little neoprene band exposed in that joint as well. A little bit of erosion right around the 9 o'clock in that joint. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. And pull back a little bit. Does appear to be possibly very hard to tell, but it does appear to be possibly a little bit of a crack there at the bottom. But again, we're just going to push in a little bit slowly. Again, as we pull back, we push in a little bit to check it. It does appear that possibly a little bit of debris there at the bottom of it. And again, you can see a little bit of the orange vitreous clay sewer piping there at the bottom, and that area there is a good indication that they had it hydrojetted. It chipped away a little bit of the orange vitreous clay, and again, very difficult to tell, but right around the 10 o'clock area, it does appear that possibly a crack in that area there. But again, once we get this back to the office, we can take a really good look at it. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. Okay, again, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. Keep going, continue to pull back. Again, a little bit of an offset in that joint there from about the 3 o'clock all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area. Continue to pull back. And that joint appeared to be in fair condition. Again, a little bit of a gap in that joint as well. We'll continue to pull back. A little bit of an offset in that joint from about the 9 o'clock going around to about the 3 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to pull back. And again, a little bit of an offset in that joint as well from about the 6 o'clock going all the way up to about the 9 o'clock area. And again, as I mentioned, this line does appear that it had been hydrojetted in order to remove the root intrusions. And again, you can see that we do have a little bit of neoprene band exposed and right around the 3 o'clock area. So we'll pull back just a little bit. You can see that the neoprene band is exposed right around the 3 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to pull back. We'll continue to pull back. Again, we're just going to push back out just a little bit. So you can see we do have a crack right around the 7 o'clock area. 7 o'clock area going up, and then it goes up and around to around the 9 o'clock area. A little bit of crack there at the bottom. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. And again, this is all, as we're pulling back onto the property, heading back towards our clean out. Again, a little bit of a neoprene band exposed in that joint. Push back in. As you can see here, we do have a section of pipe there that is missing right around the 1 o'clock area. Yeah, we got exposed neoprene band that's missing a piece of the vitreous clay in the joint there. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And a little bit of offset in that joint there. Continue to pull back. And again, another offset in this joint here from about the 9 o'clock going around to about the fairly large offset as well from the 9 o'clock going all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to pull back, and we transition back into our black ABS sewer pipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause here. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area at 5 foot 8 inches deep with an orange flag. And again, this is just to the left of the walkway as you approach the front door in the grass. And this is our vitreous clay sewer line to ABS sewer line transition. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. There's a little tie in there, so we're going to continue to pull back. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back, we're going to make a few turns, and we're going to pause here for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to run a little bit of water from our guest unit at the rear. So pull back just a little bit. Oh, okay. So we're just going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and flushed the toilet and ran a little bit of water in the guest unit just to make sure that it was passing through. And it is passing by us. And we did search around in the back area there. We didn't find an access point to get through there. We can't go through the roof. It is a tile roof. And there was no vantage point to get in there other than pulling a toilet. So again, we're going to pull back just a little bit. And again, we did run the water from the barbecue area as well. And that all seems to be passing through. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And we're going to pull up and out of our clean out. Take a little bit of turn. And that will conclude our video sewer inspection.